Blog Talk Radio.
Basically.
What the hell is that?
I'm sorry. Well.
Welcome to the Will and Thunder Show. Will and Thunder Show.
Ridiculous. Welcome to the Will and Thunder Show.
Well, hello there. All I got to say right now is that intro is awesome and ridiculous. Welcome into the Will and Thunder Show. I am Kevin Thunder, and alongside me here somewhere is William Telltale. How the hell are you doing there, buddy?
I'm great. What's up? What's going on?
Man, just another day in paradise, man. Woke up on the right side of the grass, ready to go, ready to roll, man. Another day for a great show here. And, man, look, couldn't be better, man. Just living the dream, man. Living the dream.
Well, tonight we've got the glam band from Pennsylvania, Scarlett Gypsy, and they'll be on around 10:30 with us. And I just want to say right off the bat that my blog, williamtelltale.blogspot.com, I've put up a calendar for the schedule of the Will and Thunder Show. It's small, but we're on Tuesdays, so you click on each Tuesday and you'll be able to see which guests that we have coming up. So.
That's right. Hailing out of York, Pennsylvania, Scarlett Gypsy. On lead vocals, a gentleman named David Mathew. Excuse me. My mouth stopped working there for a second. I must have went on strike. But anyway, guitar and vocals, Steve Plonk. On bass, Robert Douglas, and drums and vocals, Scotty, Scarlett himself. But anyway, yeah, these guys are, the epitome of glam rock and roll. I mean, you go back a little old school, you got some great guitar riffs, little glam riffs in there back and forth, and some good vocals. I mean, really, really great band. Can't wait to get to talking with them. But we got a little segment before we start talking to bands here on the Will and Thunder Show. It's kind of about a little bit of nothing, a little bit of everything. So it's called the Shenanigans.
Our shenanigans are cheeky and fun. Yeah, I mean, his shenanigans are cruel and tragic, which makes them not shenanigans at all, really.
I swear to God, I'll pistol whip the next guy that says shenanigans.
Shenanigans! Shenanigans!
Are you little?
You got another quarter? You got another quarter? Every time we play that, I hear that little head piece. It reminds me of, like, Pac-Man back in the day. That's the last, like, whoop, 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 whoop. But anyway, man, what you got on Shenanigans today, man? What do you got to talk about that's going around this big ball of mud we call Earth?
Well, we got some. It's not necessarily mud, but it is dirt. It could definitely be considered shenanigans from our hometown, Brevard County, Florida.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It would seem that there was a judge who was hearing cases and down at the courthouse complex, and he and the public defender got into it, and the judge basically hauled him out of the courtroom, whipped his ass.
Well, from what I understand, he didn't haul him out of the courtroom right then. What happened was the judge and the public defender got into a heated argument back and forth, and I don't even know what the subject was about. But anyway, after court session was over, they kind of ran each other in the hallway and started having words right there. And the judge straight up told him, said, listen here, buddy, you want to take this outside, I'm going to whoop your ass. Well, they went outside, got the fisticuffs right there. The judge put a couple whoopings on them right there, and the bailiff had to break them up right there. So this right here, only in the state of Florida, and I love the state of Florida. It's where, we hail from. I wasn't born there, but raised there from the time I was 4 years old till I was 34 years old. 30 years in that great state and in Brevard County. I remember when they built the Justice Complex out there in Vieira, and I didn't see a boxing ring out there anytime I've ever been out there for a traffic ticket.
Well, I tell you,
if I knew that I could box, I knew that I could box instead of, paying a fine, I might have taken it a couple times.
What, the strongman competition? 2 men, one man has to pay the fine, the other man doesn't?
That's right. Look, can you imagine, like, look, dude, take off your badge. Me and you going in the ring right now. I wasn't speeding. And look, you were hiding behind a push. We're going to take care of this right now. Fano. That's awesome, man. I mean, really?
Well, when you think of it, there's probably a lot of people that would love to see an attorney get their ass whooped, but not by a judge.
Well, I know, but can you imagine with the judge still wearing his robe? How awesome would that be? A man in a dress beating another man's ass? I mean, come on now. I'll tell you what, if any judge I would not want to fight, hold on, if there was any judge I would not want to fight, it is none of the men. It's that bitch Judge Judy. That bitch would bring everything, a baseball bat, brass knuckles. She's just mean and evil.
And she could probably whip Judge Dredd's ass.
Oh, absolutely, man.
But the thing is, as high tech and nice as that facility is, there's got to be cameras all over the damn place. So I'm thinking that somebody needs to leak that footage.
But they said they have no footage because it was outside around back. So this is in the employee access area right there. So there's no camera. They got cameras coming in the front, watching the quote bad people, the people who are in trouble, the perpetrators. But there's not one out back to film the judge whooping the public defender's ass. Okay, so mental note to any criminals out there in the Brevard County Correctional Facility: if you want to stage a prison break, head out through the employee lounge. Go out the back door. Right there. I mean, you know what? Imagine me in court right there, and I wouldn't beat my public defender. I mean, I don't think because he's trying to save my ass, but that depends on whether he was successful or not. Exactly. But, the prosecutor right there, I'd be like, listen, man, me and you had an argument in there. I don't agree with what you said. You got me thrown in jail. I get to punch you in the face as long as we're out back around away from the cameras. And no charges are being filed. So that public defender's not filing any charges against the judge. So I think that's... back in the 1700s, they used to settle their issues by a duel. Hey, this is a hell of a lot safer than a duel. I mean, both people are going to survive. That's right. One might get a bloody nose, but I think it's one of those things where you know what? It's actual true justice. True justice. The judge laid it down. That's so awesome. It's so awesome. And also, you think, especially if he's one of these judges that tries these. These cases for, gangs and stuff like that. You get one of these little thugs up in front of him, and he's trying to be a little punk ass or whatever. You'd be like, look, man, did you watch the news last week? I'll take you out back, I promise you. I'll take you out back right now, you little son of a bitch. Pull your pants up. Pull your pants up. Don't make me, I swear to you, I'll do it. And then he will. He grab him by the neck. Look, you know what we need to do right now? Okay, you brought up Judge Dredd, right? Well, he lives in Florida right now, and what we need to do is we need to take up a collection and buy him a helmet. And he needs to wear that helmet in that court of law, and he'll clean up crime all over Florida. Damn right. That'd be awesome. Dude, they're going to make a movie of him like the guy with the rock, with the big stick that went around, Beaver T. Pusser from my area here in Tennessee. That'll be the next movie about this judge in Florida right there. He'll walk around with a 2x4 and just whoop people's ass with a Judge Dredd mask on. Wait a minute, the rundown, did that happen that story happen in your area, close to you? No. You never heard the story of Beaver T. Pusser? Or not the rundown, the other movie with Dwayne Johnson. With The Rock. Yeah. Yeah, the movie is based off a sheriff that was in this area here in Tennessee. His name was Beaver T. Pusser. Okay? And he cleaned up crime. He went against the whole syndicate crime group, and he used to, at one point, went around with a 2x4 and was whooping people's asses because... Yeah, I've seen the movie. I've seen the movie. It's based on a true story. I knew it was based on the true story, too. I just didn't know where. So that happened here where you're at. It was right outside Jackson, Tennessee. I can't remember the exact town, but yeah. Nice. Oh, yeah. They have a museum around here and all that kind of stuff. And he ended up dying in, I believe it was a car crash or something. Walking Tall was the name of the movie. Thank you very much. But yeah, he ended up dying in a car crash, and it was kind of a sketchy kind of thing. And the daughter's written a book about, what her ideas of the truth are, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, that whole idea of walking tall was based on this area of Tennessee.
Well, that's cool. I did not know that.
Very cool. What else you got for some shenanigans? Since that was actually pretty good shenanigans right there. Because that's what I consider shenanigans right there. When a judge whoops your ass, that's shenanigans.
And if you're telling if you're telling somebody about it and they don't believe you, that'd be a pretty easy story to call shenanigans on.
Exactly. Like, yeah, all right, I got a story for you. Is this real or is this shenanigans? A judge whoops a public defender's ass, and they're like, oh, no, that'll never happen. Like, wrong answer.
Well, next I got, I saw a story. Basically, the Microsoft bought out Skype a while back, paid like $1 billion for it, and but now they've developed it. Now it's not out yet, but they're developing this technology that would work like the universal translator in Star Trek. So basically,
in other words, when you're Skyping somebody in Israel.
If I'm talking to one of those Russian, like hot Russian models or whatever, I'd be able to understand what the hell they were saying.
Bill, you're already married. You can't get a mail order bride. Stop that shit. All right.
Damn it! Have you seen some of them?
You don't live in the Dakotas or in Utah or something. You can't have more than one. I don't know why you'd want more than one. I have one, and fuck, man, that's enough damage.
True.
I hope you didn't hear me. Fuck. Anyway, but yeah. So if you're talking to somebody in Greece, like we were talking to last week, not last week, the week before that. Excuse me, my timeline was off. Then you can Skype with someone who speaks in another language, and when you talk to them, it's going to translate you to their language. When they talk back to you, it'll translate in your language. Right.
Now, what I want to know is how is it going to talk? Because right now, Microsoft Sam, the Microsoft default voice is, just sounding like this really hollow, metallic-sounding robot that sounded like it was out of like a sci-fi B movie from back in the 50s.
As long as it doesn't sound like the people on the weather alert things, you are about to meet your doom. If you live in Wichita, Kansas, I mean, I'm sure with this day and age and as much technology, which I understand that we don't have a whole lot of money when it comes to government things. Well, no, we have a lot of money. They throw to government stuff. But local government doesn't have a lot of money. And the weather alert system, kind of just has a guy that says every word of the alphabet, every word in the English language, and they kind of throw it in there, piece together. But, this is Microsoft and Google and all those people. I mean, hell, they'll have it to where it sounds like some, the only thing I'm worried about is like if I'm trying to talk to somebody overseas, my voice is going to sound like a 20-year-old hot stripper, and I'm like, no, like a Garmin, turn right now. Turn around. Recalculating. I'm like, I'm pulling dollar bills and throwing it at my GPS right there. I'm like, wait a minute, what am I doing here?
Damn. Well, they,
And what they actually, and it's so funny because it's the first time in all of the world has ever been around. I don't care if you're running a horse and buggy. A guy never listened to a woman. She'd be like, turn right. And he's like, fuck no, I know where I'm going. All of a sudden, we get this technology called a Garmin. It's like, turn right now. I'm like, okay, I got you. This technology got away, and I got this. And they get you lost. And it gets you lost so much worse than just looking at a map.
Yeah, and not to mention the fact that they don't come with avoid ghetto.
Yeah, here's your quickest way to your destination, but I'm taking you through the worst parts of town with the worst roads and the most construction.
And drive-by shootings.
Oh, exactly. And it's like, yeah, you'll be there in 45 minutes if you go this straight. Well, you know what? No, I'm not getting there in 45 minutes because you're taking me through the 2-hour delay of stop traffic because all these orange cones here. I know you don't see those in your little map that shows the fastest route, but thank you very much. And yes, my car overheats. I don't have it.
You brought up the National Weather Service.
Yes.
Years ago, I lived in Clarksville, Tennessee, which is where Fort Campbell is. I lived like right across.
Clarksville, Tennessee.
Well, yeah, that. I lived right across the street from one of the gates, like one of the main gates too. And every morning about 0800 they would fire off a cannon. You got used to that. But one night, about 3 in the morning, this really powerful storm came through. I mean, there were raindrops the size of golf balls. There was hail. I mean, it was just lightning all over the place, thunder loudly and everything. And I mean, we were getting pummeled. I felt bad for any soldiers that were out in the field during training during that storm. But about 15 minutes of this goes by, and all of a sudden I hear the Fort Campbell's alert system go off. I'm like, oh shit, there's a tornado. So I stuck my head out my front door so I could listen to what it was saying. The National Weather Service has reported a severe thunderstorm warning for the Clarksville and the Fort Campbell areas. That was it.
And it just makes you madder and damn it right there.
Yeah.
It's like, look, if my life's in danger, look, if my car's getting wet here, look, I'm good with that. But, I mean, to be honest with you, you really need to watch those thunderstorm warnings like that because as bad as tornadoes are, there's something that's as bad as tornadoes and a thunderstorm warning. Me living in Tennessee now, I realize that, and that's straight line winds. It will lay your ass down as fast as a tornado will. So I mean, it was a real threat, but I understand what you're saying there. I mean, that's just like
it was kind of like the boy who cried wolf, basically. You have the it's like if every time it rains, you hear the sirens go off and everything, and you're told to seek shelter. And then all of a sudden, you're when you hear them go off, you're not going to stick your head out to hear what it says because you've heard it outside.
And I'm not that guy
and that time there is a tornado heading your way.
Yeah, well, I'm not that guy, dude. Look, I grew up in Florida. We have hurricanes, and we got a week to get away. I've only been up here in Tennessee for 8 years now, and I'm still like a fucking little schoolgirl. It gets dark outside. They start talking on the TV. If they stop the regular TV and bring the newsman on, guess what?
You're paying attention.
I could make a diamond out of a piece of gold and put it through my butt cheeks. I'm telling you, man, because I fuck her up and I freak out. I drove through 2 of them already, and look, and they were little ones. No, if I ever see a big tornado, look, get out of here right now. Look, they don't have to worry about where I landed at because I will die before I leave the ground because I will have a freaking heart attack. Look, I'm not that guy on Twister, man. Like, oh, chase it. Are you chasing it? Really? That's like chasing a hungry lion, you dumbass. You don't do that. No. You don't run through Africa with a steak necklace. It doesn't make sense.
You don't stick your hand into
Find out where the storm is. Figure out where it's going on your computer. Call people and tell them to get out of the way, and you leave. We have computers now. You don't have to drive your truck into it. We understand what the problem is. The wind starts swirling up in the clouds. They come down. They swirl on the ground, and it eats everything up.
Well,
okay.
There was a comedian that said, about these idiots that want to chain themselves to a structure or whatever during a hurricane down in Florida or Louisiana or whatever, saying that the 130 mile an hour wind isn't, it's not dangerous. Well, that's true.
No.
It's not the wind itself is dangerous. It's what the wind is blowing at 130 miles an hour.
It's a piece of plywood that's flying at 130 miles an hour that hits you in your skull cap that shows your brain afterward, and you're laying there drooling on yourself with no recognition of what happened. Yeah, no, that's the problem. When it can take a pine needle and throw it through a telephone pole, and you're out there like, oh, I'm going to chain myself to this telephone pole because I'm cool right here, and I want to film this storm because I have to have it for the Weather Channel. All right, Cantori, it was nice knowing you. We'll have you a nice big palm tree-style tombstone. Get out of here. Are you kidding me?
I went down. I went down to Miami shortly after Hurricane Andrew hit, and I saw those marquee letters, those plastic marquee letters, embedded into solid concrete, like halfway.
Look, all right, now you grew up in Florida with me, right?
Yeah, that would have taken a man's head off.
Go ahead.
I was saying those letters at 150 miles an hour, which Andrew was a Cat 4, which that was. So one of those would easily, if it buried itself halfway into solid concrete, it would have decapitated 5 people standing in a row easily.
Oh yeah, well it's like throwing you see these experts who can take a playing card and throw it through a watermelon. It's the same aspect.
Right, exactly.
Now, I saw, and you know, anybody who's lived in Florida or any tropical area that has palm trees, you know that I don't care what kind of hardwood you have anywhere else. You can take oak or whatever. It's a solid wood, but it's not fibrous. A palm tree is nothing but tiny little fibers that make up the trunk of the tree. And if you ever had a dead
it's nature's own particle board. It's nature's own particle board made out of toothpicks. That's what it is.
Right. And you try and take the chainsaw and cut through them, you will wear through 4 blades to get through one, I'm going to say, large pizza-size palm tree.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I saw, after the Hurricane Charlie that went through southwest Florida, down there that came through Punta Gorda and all that,
right.
I went there to help a buddy of mine who had a pizza place. A piece of plywood that was shoved halfway through a pine tree, or for this palm tree. And what they did to get the piece of plywood out of the tree is they took a skill saw and cut around the tree and left the plywood in there because you can't pull it out and you can't cut through the tree.
Right.
So to this day, I could show you where this palm tree is, and it looks like a regular palm tree right there. And at one point, you can see a circular piece of plywood that's in that tree, and it goes in about 8 inches.
Dang. Well,
it's amazing.
That's kind of like that picture that you see floating around online with a bike that a tree had grown around, where somebody had left a tree.
Oh, yeah, they chained it up where the guy went to war, and they left the bike there. Yeah, that's a really cool kind of picture right there. Kind of sad in one aspect because you're looking, the guy never came back.
Right. Well, it's a bike, not a puppy.
Oh, I understand that, but I'm saying the guy never came back from war. That's the sad part right there. Is the guy went to war and he never came back, and his parents couldn't bear to unchain it. Like a lot of parents, they can't, change their bedrooms or whatever. And then you see this tree, and I mean, it's kind of an amazing picture right there.
Well, that's kind of a good segue to lead it into our break. Because did you watch the video of Scarlett Gypsy for the song "Don't Forget My Name"?
You know what? I don't think I caught that one. I watched a couple different videos from them, but what I understand, I saw the header for it, and that's the one where they were Memorial Day for a soldier right there, correct?
It's a whole bunch of videos of
different
soldiers coming home and their kids seeing them and reacting to them.
Well, and that's an amazing thing right there. When they show those commercials on TV, or during sporting events, and have a little excerpt of the soldier coming home. Mm-hmm. It's a grand thing, especially when they're wrapped up in a box and everything. It looks like a present. That's the best present you can get, especially as a child right there, or as a young wife, young husband, to see your spouse come home, or even for a mother to see their son come home. It's amazing right there. And that's right. Don't forget the name. But you know what? Also, don't forget the names of the people who don't get to come back. Who come back in a different box. And I think that song has that much meaning as well.
Yeah, there was also a video that I saw on YouTube. It was of a soldier coming home, except it wasn't the kids. They had like this little this golden retriever that was just all over him. I mean, the dog was crying. He was so happy to see.
Well, I've seen a couple of those too. One, I don't know what kind of dog this was, but it was like a Great Dane with fur on it. It was about 4 foot taller, and it was a lady who had come home. And when she got home, she pulled in the driveway, this dog come out and tackled her ass. And it was just the cutest thing in the world, man. I can say the cutest thing in the world. I just lost my fucking name card. Anyway, no, but I mean, it really was, right? I mean, that's a touching moment right there. And, like when my kids are born, that's one of those things that are really touching. I mean, and that was kind of touching. I mean, my brother, was never on the battle lines, but he was overseas. And I don't know how I would have reacted if he had never come home,
Right.
So, I mean, and my grandfather was also military. I mean, I've got close touches to it, so. So you already ready to take a break? We're already done with shenanigans?
Yeah, it's like I got 10:27 here, so, and our guests are here, so we might as well just go ahead and break and bring them on.
Well, all right. Well, let's go ahead and let's play some music right here from Scarlett Gypsy. Let's get things rolling right here.
All right, this is Black Betty by their cover of Black Betty by Scarlett Gypsy, and they're going to have.
Love this song.
There's actually a backstory to this song that I had no idea what it was about until speaking with them a few days ago for show prep and everything. It's an interesting story. We'll cover that when we get back. This is Black Betty by Scarlett Gypsy on the Will and Thunder Show. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Will and Thunder Show. That was Scarlett Gypsy with the song Black Betty. All right, who we got here, guys? What's going on?
Hey, Will, it's Scotty. I'm on.
Yeah, this is Dave. I'm on.
How you doing, man?
Good. That's Thunder. And I think I hear Davey. Dave's on, too.
Hey, buddy. What's going on?
Not too much. Yeah, that's... when we were talking on the phone earlier this week, I was talking about some of the static I've been getting from YouTube about putting cover versions of songs on, and you told me that particular song is in the public domain, and they can't say a word about it.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And you know what's funny? I don't know, Dave, if you know, but when we recorded that, I didn't realize that. I thought it was a Ram Jam cover, and then come to see when we had put the copyright in for the performance that it's actually in public domain. There's an 1800 song that was more or less a slave song that was written and used, and I think somebody named Leadbelly had written it early on and recorded it, but it's past its prime, I think, of 90-some years, and it's out in public domain.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I thought it was a random song myself.
I know it's much older than what we knew when we recorded it.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy how YouTube can, diss us on us playing covers, but they have 14,532,000,000,000 different covers of different people playing songs who can't actually play them, and that's okay.
Yeah, right.
Well, the reason being is because the version is so bad that that is being uploaded.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't come close to the original, so there's no copyright.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was a great version of that song, by the way, guys. Man, and thank you guys for coming into our show, man. We appreciate it, man.
Great. We
thanks for
appreciate
having
being on. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you. I'm a child of the '80s. I love '80s metal, '80s hair metal. I can listen to Iron Maiden, turn right back around and listen to Poison or Skid Row, right in the same time frame of 15 minutes.
Yeah. One of the cover bands I was in, we used to do a cover version of Ryman the Ancient Mariner. That was one of my favorites.
That takes a lot to pull off live.
Yeah, that was huge.
I mean, for one thing, it takes a lot of just endurance just to play nonstop, and you have to be able to remember, it's like, okay, what's coming up next? How many times am I doing this verse progression before it goes into another chorus progression? Okay, how many? I guess if you know the song, it's not that big of a deal, but maybe trying to learn it would probably be the pain in the ass.
Yeah, that's exactly
songs
it.
that long like that. And it's kind of hard to play, songs that long. You're sitting there and you're used to playing 5-10 minute, 5-8 minute songs, and you throw 12 minutes out there. I mean, it's a lot of playing. I mean, but so you guys got a new album coming out called All Access.
Yes, sir.
That's correct. Yep. June 25th it will be out, and it'll be global. It'll be digital download, and also physical will be on Bandcamp, also on Amazon, and out on CD Baby. So certainly just trying to get it out there and as a debut album for people to try to listen to and see what they like as far as the music. And if it brings back, I think one of the things me and Dave talk about is a lot of songs now you don't hear a nice guitar solo like you used to be able to hear, and it's nice to have something that you have that good rock and roll music that has a guitar solo in it.
We talk about that all the time on the show, man. I mean, there's a lot of good music out there right now. Or not a lot of good music, there's some, but it's the one thing missing in all of real, like any kind of rock and roll music nowadays, is a guitar solo. I remember when I was a kid, man, you knew the guitar solo as well as you knew the lyrics. I mean, you didn't just sing the song. When a guitar part came up, whether it would be Slash playing or whoever it was, you were like, winning, and you sang that with a guitar player. You knew what it was, man. You felt it, loved it, and just, I mean, and I miss that so much through music nowadays, especially when it comes to rock music, man.
When the stuff I used to listen to growing up, singer, bass player, drummer, whatever you are, you anticipated that guitar lick coming up, and you were anxious for it. When it finally got there, it was like, yeah. Nowadays, it's like you wait and nothing happens, and it's kind of disappointing,
They throw a little bridge in there, you're like, that's it? Are you fucking kidding me? Man, come on now. I've been waiting. I was waiting. It's like a car accident where you hear the screech of the tires and no bang.
That's a great analogy. That's exactly right.
Well,
we're busting up cars and dead people. Come on now.
Do you remember that song back in the '90s? That closing time song.
Closing time.
The end of the bar.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
That had to have been one of the most let down for as far as a guitar solo is concerned ever, because it starts off like this intro to a very the way that it starts off, that with the octave, just climbing it up, it does that.
Yeah, and you think it's really going to build into something awesome, and then it just goes away.
And then that's it. It's like that's like a girl saying "stick it in, but don't come."
Just a tip.
Just give me the tip. Give me the tip.
What an analogy. See if you like it. Just a tip.
Really? I bought you 17 drinks. Just a tip? Are you kidding me? Get out of here.
I just heard that the other other day somewhere. I can't remember where I heard it. I freaking laughed so hard because I know it was in a movie I watched years ago. Man. Sorry,
I don't remember that being in the movie, but I'm sure it was.
Yeah.
Well, if it's good stuff, it lasts. But anyway.
Well,
it's like today, man. Go ahead, guys, man. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it's back on. Certainly when you hear this stuff, but I think with me and Dave, I think the being able to be on your show is an honor, and I wanted to thank you for that. But just the reaction from the fans, us putting up, we just put up a page back in October, and I tell you what, just the fan response and me and Dave talk about this. I mean, over 350,000 views on the one page. Twitter followers in like 2 months, we have almost 10,000, and it's just amazing the comments they write on our YouTube page. Granted, YouTube just really screwed us this past week. They did a mishap when they were trying to sync license our music. They lost all of our comments. They had to repost our videos, so we lost all of our views, almost 50,000 views. And but you know what? That's fine. I mean, I put a little posting on our page, and all the fans respond, and it's a great feeling. It's the best feeling when you have songs and people can connect and react, like you were talking before we came on with the "Don't Forget My Name" with the military. I mean, really thinking of that and putting that video together. It's certainly to honor everybody, but it's also to honor our song too, because our song has some meaning to it. And when you put a good song with good visual, and you have an impact with people, and people are writing in, and hey, I really had to get some tissues for this song. You feel really good that you're doing a justice to both service that our country for our military people. Plus, it's deserving of our song, which certainly needed some good. You need good visuals so people understand what your song's about.
Right.
Oh, absolutely. And I do applaud you for putting it out there and giving the good grace to the people who are giving us the rights to play that kind of music, to have our voice be able to be heard, because a lot of countries out there you couldn't write any kind of music except if it was praising them themselves.
But anyway, I want to touch on something I heard you guys talking about before you brought us on, and you made a really good point that it's really great that we pay tribute to all the people that came back, but I like to mention that the people that really gave all are the ones who didn't make it back, and they're the ones that really need the honor.
Amen.
Absolutely. They gave their life so we could live ours, and that's a big thing out there. I mean, it's really huge. And, I mean, there's a lot of families out there who have Memorial Day barbecues without the dad barbecuing.
Right. There's an empty chair.
That's right. And you know what? It's those guys that give us the right for me to sit here and bullshit on the radio.
Yeah,
to sit here and talk with you guys.
Everything we take for granted every day.
Exactly. And people don't realize in this country, especially the younger folks out there, of how lucky we really have it here. There's a lot of countries out there where you don't have the rights to be able to have a free speech. You don't have an internet radio show where you can talk and say what you want to, do what you want to do.
Yeah, you have to worry about somebody busting in the door and freaking taking your head off. It's crazy.
Right. Yeah. The only thing they could do to me here is come and check my taxes, and they might throw me in a jail where I get to play golf once a week.
Yeah, and I don't even get to do that now.
Oh, so you
I'll be like, really? Look, man, I ain't paid tax in 10 years. Send me that place with a swimming pool and a golf course, all right? I mean, come on.
Tailor-made, man, they're better than what I swing. Jeez.
Exactly. I got a set from Walmart, dude. Wilson's or some shit. You got Taylor. I don't care if they're 10 years old. Shit. That's kind of oversized head on that one. We're good. Fuck yeah. Come on now. It's horrible. That's our jail system right there. All right, Mr. Madoff, you sold $232 million from most of the country, and they're going to live their retirements without playing golf. But we got a place for you right here at this little compound right here, and you get to play golf every day. And no one's going to get you a 32-inch color TV, and we're going to feed you prime rib once a week. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, but you know what? The course he gets to play eternally, the ball won't fit in the hole.
Little jail room comment there, huh?
By the time he leaves, it will. But anyway. Wow, I said that out loud, didn't I? To the Will and Thunder show. Anyway.
Right?
Oh, man, you're killing me.
Hey, look, this is the internet, man. We will have to deal with the FAA or whatever they are. That's the airplanes, but anyway, you know what I mean.
I gotcha.
Well, by the time you're done with them, it probably will be the FAA getting involved.
Wow. One of the best interviews ever.
Anyway, I did before we move on to more things while we were still kind of on the subject. Well, actually, we're nowhere near that subject now.
Yeah,
but,
we're pretty far away.
Don't forget my name. I mean that song. You guys will be proud to know that song has achieved earworm status with me.
Good. Thank you. Excellent. Thanks.
And I mean, there's like the other night I laid down and tried to go to sleep and everything, and I couldn't because that song was stuck in my head.
You know, I find people say that you know what's funny? The guy that filmed some of our footage had his name is Jimmy French, and he when you leave a place and you have a song stuck in your head, and I even seen a fan write about it. Once she listened to Don't Forget My Name and watched the video, she said the song was stuck in her head the whole day. And that's something that's unique. If you get a song that people and I think when we write, I think a lot of times it's based off of getting that chorus first, and then writing from that. And certainly Steve, our guitar player, comes in with a riff, or he'll come in with an idea, or Dave comes in with something from a lyrical standpoint, and we really just build off of that. And it's certainly trying to build songs that are good songs and ones that people can listen to. And some of our other ones, I mean, that one certainly, Don't Forget My Name, was built off of. I think when we wrote that about a relationship, somebody leaving a relationship and just having a short time together to see them. But some of our other ones, I mean, are really just, sexually driven, like Love and Shovin'. I mean, it's really about just going out and finding somebody. And then we have ones that Don't Forget, or When You See Me, that's really driven about some different things from a relationship standpoint. So a lot of our of this debut album has that keyword love in it. So I don't know if that's good or bad.
No, it's not a bad thing. It's a whole plan idea. I mean,
it's good. The word love is very widely used, and we're just as guilty as anybody of it, of using several different definitions thereof. But I want to expand on something that Scotty said about the material, because Steve and I got together yesterday, and we're actually working on some new music. And one of the things that we both discussed is when we write songs, and I think it's because of what we hear nowadays, being that we're not hearing stuff that we like. We try to write stuff that if we were to be the listener, we would want to hear. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And that's where I think that essence of a song that sticks in your head comes from. Because we're trying to write in such a way that, not necessarily that we're causing it to try and be memorable. We just want it to be something that people enjoy.
Amen to that. Yeah.
Well, I find myself here, you're listening to the radio and you're listening to this, that, and the other thing, and you're kicking through radio stations. Every once in a while you'll come through some Motley Crue, or you'll come through some Skid Row or some Poison. And I find myself going, man, well, why isn't there anything new? I mean, I listen to the same old stuff I've listened to my whole life, but I still love. I mean, I hold it near and dear to me. But, like, you guys are playing something new. And it's nice to have something fresh and along the same lines that has the squealing guitars and, some vocals that actually mean something, and a vocalist who can throw a sound out there. And it's really nice to have that out there again, something new. I mean, you said you guys had, 10,000 listeners?
Yes.
On your YouTube page?
We had 50,000.
Oh, no, we had more than that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying, you've got these bands out there who are kind of trying to do it the glam look, with the half-ass glam versus goth look. Where they've got the big hair and the makeup and everything, who don't really know what the hell they're doing.
Right.
And to see guys like you, this is how your hair is supposed to look. This is what you're supposed to dress like. And this is how you play.
Mhm.
And I love having that back out there.
Well, I just, a guy that I know that's a country player, he said something just the other day. It just made total sense. And no matter how big he ever gets, he's really striving to. He's really putting his heart into his music and everything. And he's really working toward achieving that dream, if you will. He just said something very encouraging, and it was along the lines of, no matter what you like or what you're listening to or what other influences there are in the world around you, if you stay true to yourself and you be you, if you have something special to give, it'll come out. You don't have to force it. You don't have to try it. You especially don't have to try and be someone else, because the minute you start trying to be something or someone else, it'll ruin everything.
Absolutely.
You just
I mean,
have to be yourself, because everybody
else
has some kind of a unique gift. And I think some of the best stuff that I've ever done has been just completely me. Whether you like it or not, it's real, and that's what makes our stuff so special.
And you know what, Dave, this Scotty just saying off of you too, is when you sing, it's unique. And when I hear Dave singing our songs, I text him and I point out when he screams in some of these songs, and it's just it's kind of that David Lee Roth. You know who it is. It's Dave. It's our Dave, and it's unique. And the notes that he hits in "Not in Love Together" and things like that. It's just we don't hear singers like that out there.
No, you don't. And it's greatly missed.
Hey, I tell you what, I got to give some props, though, to at least one newer band that's out there that's got an incredibly talented bunch of guys, is Alter Bridge. You ever hear of these guys?
Yeah, Alter Bridge, absolutely.
Yeah, they're freaking amazing. Just an absolutely amazing band. Miles Kennedy, the guitar player, singer, guy's a brilliant vocalist. And, kudos to him for bringing that, that 80s influence into modern day. It's awesome.
Right. Well, I've got a band that's a newer. Well, they're not newer by any means now, but that I really fell in love with after the whole rock and glam thing kind of went out of the picture, and we got more of the pop rock going. Was Disturbed. I love that band. I mean, to come up with, any band that could, follow Metallica in a show or open for Metallica, I'm saying, in a show would be Disturbed. They have that power, and they have the vocal ability and the guitars and the solos. I mean, they're a great rock band. But it's one of the far few in between that you remember, like when you went to see Lollapalooza back in the day, or you went to see a show. I saw Metallica and with Guns N' Roses and Fake No More. That was a rock show, man.
Dude, I'll tell you, a rock show I saw in '88 at RFK in Washington. This was still the biggest show I've ever seen. It was awesome. It was Kingdom Come, which is a little-known English band that got sued by Led Zeppelin, if you remember.
Van Halen,
Metallica, Doc. It was Metallica, Doc, and Scorpions, and Van Halen.
The Monsters
of Rock. Look right there, dude.
You don't see shows like that anymore. That was insane.
No. I mean, the biggest thing they've done since then that was even close to that was that whole Metallica,
Anthrax. It was the big four.
Metallica, Anthrax, Slayer, the four big bands right there. And it still wasn't the same,
Yeah, the M3 thing, isn't that what it's called, M3?
Yes. Yeah, down there at Merriweather.
That's a pretty good festival.
Yeah, well, it's all festivals now. The Monsters of Rock is a tour. Well, and now all the Monsters of Rock is, well, at least the American version of it is a cruise, a weekend cruise with a bunch of bands, which I would kill to be on. Don't get me wrong, but it's not like seeing Van Halen, Metallica, Doc, and Kingdom Come, and the Scorpions in the Citrus Bowl in Orlando.
Yeah,
right.
No, not even close.
Priceless.
See, that's the other thing that's missing, I think, about music these days. Isn't just guitar solos or big hair or whatever. That's all window dressing as far as the big hair goes. But the solos aren't. But what's missing is production.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, the level of production, and understandably, it can't be what it was then unless you have like ridiculous money behind you.
Well, see, that's a big thing. That there's actually another story I was going to talk about in our opening segment that we didn't get to, but it was Gene Simmons just kind of came out and was not bashing, but talking about Kurt Cobain, how he didn't deserve to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because it was a totally different world. You don't have bands like Kiss or even Prince or bands, even Michael Jackson, that had this following. You don't have the support of the fans anymore. Today with YouTube and social media, everything's so easy to get to that people are taking away from these epic bands that never get to become epic.
Right.
And
everything's disposable now, everything,
right.
Even music.
Gene Simmons said that just because you died doesn't make you an icon. Yes, your music was good, but you put 2 albums out before you died.
Yeah, no, I don't agree with everything Gene says, but I'd probably have to back him on that one.
Yeah, me too. But
I agree.
Besides that, like we were talking about with last week, I hated grunge.
It murdered rock and roll, man. As far as I'm
concerned.
concerned.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it still hasn't recovered yet. It's getting there, but it still hasn't recovered yet.
Yeah, it's that turned into like more of an alternate scene, and now what used to be alternate is now like popular music, and it's okay, well, where's the freaking rock at? Come on,
back in the day, we used to strive at. Thunder and I are both musicians as well, but they used to strive to see how good we could be, how many different different scales we can learn, how many different songs we can write that sound different from each other. Create your own style, try to come up with something innovative on the while doing a guitar solo. Learn how to sing as best as you can.
Yeah, something called musicianship.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Nirvana comes and all the douchebags with the weird funky looking guitars that know 3 chords all of a sudden, dude, man, I wrote this in the garage, like after school one day, about how much
I'm playing in drop D, and I got 7 strings on my guitar, so I'm good.
And my life sucks, and I'm depressed, so now I'm a rock star.
Right.
Exactly. And then they played that whole thing out right there, and it totally destroyed everything that a lot of people were doing at that time, man. Especially, and the hair scene was so huge for a long time that but I mean, any aspect of rock and roll, that was just a trinket to it. I mean, you had different styles there, but it was all considered rock and roll.
Right. Exactly.
And the one song they play Metallica, then you play Poison, and then you play Slayer, then you got Cinderella or Dokken or whatever. And I mean, it all flowed together. And now it's all gone. All you got now is like it's garbage.
I listened to something this morning that I hadn't heard before. You ever hear the Winery Dogs?
I love the Winery Dogs.
I have heard so many great things about the Winery Dogs. Actually, I've been told to listen to them a couple times.
Well, Richie Cotton's from here in PA. He's from over in Reading, and I'm just like, I listened to that this morning, like, oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Freaking 3-piece that kicks that much ass is just awesome.
Yeah, I reviewed their album on my blog, williamtelltale.blogspot.com. Cha-ching! And I
and you're going to review our album too, right?
Huh?
You're going to review our album too, right?
Yeah, I will.
Absolutely, we are. I mean, look.
But anyway, I reviewed the Winery Dogs album, and currently that is the most read post on my blog.
Wow,
Great.
That's awesome.
But honest, we've been doing this for about 9 months now, this radio thing. We've been musicians since we were 13, 14 years old, and we're in our 40s now. And 90% of the people that we've interviewed on this show, I'm not going to say that. Let me drop that down a little bit. 70% of the people that we've been talking to when it comes to really good musicians and bands are coming out of Pennsylvania right now.
Wow, that's awesome, man.
Have you ever heard of Xander Demos? Have you ever heard of Xander Demos?
No, I haven't.
Okay, he's a shredder like an Yngwie Malmsteen or a Rev Beach or Paul Gilbert or whatever. And we had him on just last week, and he's from Pittsburgh.
Oh wow, cool.
Well, you know what I think stands out about Pennsylvania is, I have to tell you, coming up through school, I started drums in 2nd grade. I was in every band. I mean, I was the geeky guy in marching band. I was in jazz band, stage band. The schools there push music. They really do. I mean, even every kid in 4th grade has to play an instrument, if it's a tonette or a little recorder, whatever it's called.
I did the same thing, man, in Florida. I did the same thing. I started out in 4th grade playing the clarinet, then moved to the French horn, played trombone, baritone, little trumpet. When it came to me being, in the 10th grade, I played through school, but my band director was an asshole, so I'm like, fuck you, I quit. And I went and bought a bass guitar, and I started hanging out with Will right here. We started a band, and that was it. I was a bass player ever since.
Nice. That's cool. We were too poor. I couldn't afford instruments, so I became a singer.
I got instruments from the school. The only one I ever owned was a fucking trombone, and that got me busted smoking because I stole a pack of cigarettes from my mom, was smoking cigarettes, had it in my trombone case. I was playing baritone, and my band instructor was like, "Oh no, we need you for trombone in the march band." I'm like, "All right." So I called my mom from school. I'm like, "Get that old trombone out of the bedroom and break it to the music shop and make sure it's all oiled up and all that." Forget that I put her pack of cigarettes, my ashtray, and lighter in the fucking case. That's where I was hiding it.
Oh,
no. I get over to school that day, and my mom's looking at me like, oh, really? I'm like, oh, what? She's like, oh, you've been smoking? I'm like, how do you know? She's like, oh, your trombone. I'm like, oh, and the worst part was I stole her cigarettes, and she whooped my ass for stealing her cigarettes. Yeah, it was fucking phenomenal.
I'll tell you, since we're on the subject of smoking, I gave it up a long time ago, but I got to tell you, the day I started, I was about 13. My brother, I have an older brother, and he was smoking. And he had these black Russian cigarettes. They were actually Russian. They were black with a gold filter, just the coolest looking freaking cigarettes, right? And we're in the kitchen. I was like, wow, what is that? He's like, oh, it's Russian. I said, let me have a hit of it. He's like, all right, don't let Mom know, because my mom, my stepdad are downstairs, right? So I take a drag of it, and he's like, Dave, what are you doing smoking? And he freaking yells at him, like, shut up. And I hear my mom like, I don't care if you smoke, just don't do it behind my back. So I grabbed it back out of his hand, ran downstairs, and freaking took a drag of it right in front of her and blew it in her face. She's like, fine, but I'm not supporting your habit. The rest is history.
I have a similar story. That's awesome.
Of course.
Dude, same thing happened. I swear to God. When I got busted, my mom didn't tell my dad. So one day, we were coming back from my grandparents' house on a Sunday where we went over there every weekend. And my dad knew I was smoking. He was yelling at me about it, blah, blah, this, and the other thing, because I smoked one at my grandparents' house. He's like, well, just don't smoke in front of me. So I'm in the back seat of the car, and I light one up. And my little brother's like, Dad, Kevin's smoking in front of you. He's like, no, he's not even in the back seat. I'm like, that's fucking right on, man. And then not 10 minutes later, on the way home, my mom's like, well, I need to get some cigarettes. Can you please stop? And he's like, yeah, he pulled over. What do you want? She's like, meth in the head, just menthol, 100. I'm like, yeah, give me a pack of Marlboros. And he sure as shit bought me a pack of fucking cigarettes and threw them at me.
No way. Wow.
I swear, it was awesome. But
Thunder and I both have quit. I quit smoking in July. He's recently quit, like, over the past 2 months. So we're both ex-smokers.
Yeah, it'll take you a while to clean out. You know what I mean? My brother quit about a year and a half ago, and he's a ex-military guy. He retired from the Army, but he was a hardcore smoker, and he said just a couple months ago he just started going through the clean-out thing because he heard all the horror stories about how you quit smoking and you cough all this crap out of your chest. It took over a year for that to even start.
Yeah, I'm doing one of those vapor things.
So you guys got a ways to go yet.
Yes, sir.
Well, but actually, what happened with me is, like, shortly after I got, because I switched to e-cigs like immediately in July, and then in November I smoked, or actually October I put down the e-cigs, but then when, I don't know, about 2 months or so later, I started having actual breathing problems, like getting really short of breath. Take a deep breath, you feel like you couldn't get anything.
Right.
And which was weird, but that lasted for a good 2 or 3 months, and then that went away, and I can breathe just fine now, except for right now I can't because I've had allergies all day, but that's unrelated. But that's, yeah, I know that I've got a lot of cough in my future. I'm just kind of
stick it out. I've heard of guys going back to smoking because they're like, oh, the hell with this. Don't make that mistake.
Well, I quit smoking.
That's right.
I quit smoking because I was to the point to where it was actually hurting just to breathe. So, to be honest with you, I mean, there have been times when I've come real close to, when I was just really stressed out and everything, and I was just like, and then somebody walks by me with a cigarette, and I'm just like, I just almost went up to him and bummed one, but then I was thinking about how I was feeling that that last week or so before I actually quit, and I'm actually afraid to do it.
Yeah, that's good.
All right, now that we've made it clear that our public service announcement's done and we've made our quota there.
Yeah, that fits into our bad habits too, though, right?
The bad habits, yeah.
Exactly. Well, what kind of bad habits
my
do you guys
biggest bad
have?
habit. I'll tell you what my bad habits are since we're on that subject. I freaking love cheeseburgers. I love cheeseburgers. I can eat cheeseburgers every freaking day of the week, and I'm an absolute coffee addict. Coffee, chocolate, and cheeseburgers, and I'm a happy guy.
Wow.
I quit smoking, but I didn't quit drinking.
Ah, okay. Well, one usually leads to the other. Just so you know.
I've been able to not smoke when I drink, and now it's I'm fine.
Oh, that's good. That's
actually,
good. One time I quit
just to let you know. Oh, go ahead, guys.
One time I quit for a year, and then I started back up because I went out to see a band a friend of mine told me about, and we're sitting there having a couple of beers, and he still smokes. I was like, hey man, why don't you let me have one of those? And before long, I was back on him again.
Back in 2007, I tried to quit cold turkey, and I lasted about a week. And after you've gone a week, you're pretty much in the clear as far as
through the worst part, yeah.
Right. So then, all of a sudden, a buddy of mine calls me up. Hey, man, let's go down to Wild Wing and drink some beers. I'm like, okay. Oops.
Enough said.
Yeah, I drank. Yeah, oops.
Well, listen here. Right now, we're at the top of the hour right here, and I think it's time to hear a little bit more of the music styles of this great band. We got Scarlett Gypsy here. What do you think there, Will?
Works for me.
All righty. What song are we playing this time?
When You See Me. It's the
ballad.
How's
that sound to you guys?
That sounds great. A little background on this. Steve, our guitar player, brought this song to us, and he wrote this. And you can hear Dave in the back and our producer when they did this. And, Dave, you can help with this. Really molded the harmonies in this that you can hear throughout it. But Steve gets pretty emotional in his voice at the end of this, and it's really been a big hit on our YouTube. So, Dave, anything else you had to say on this one?
Steve and I talk about this song a lot, and there's a kind of a dissonant vocal that follows the lead vocal pretty much the whole way through the song. It was actually derived from the harmony vocal that I had originally put just in the chorus, and the producer, Mike, was just like, hey, you know what, how about if we just do that during the verses as well and just keep it a little more subdued? And he also picked out a really cool second guitar part. It's just a really basic piece, but it has like a really nice tremolo effect on it. Just adding those two things made the song so much better. So, props to Mike for that. It's awesome.
So instead of backup vocals, you have kind of like an echo thing that your backup vocals are doing?
Well, it's not really an echo. It's almost like an octave type of thing.
Oh, okay. But is it an off step off, or is it on key with the vocals, or? Gosh, I can't even think of what exactly the terminology is, but it's a lower harmony part that it's just kind of like a really weird spot for me to sing in, but for some reason it worked well with the song. Well, that's awesome, man. Well, let's go ahead and listen to that right now, and we'll be back here in just a minute. This is Scarlett Gypsy.
The song's called When You See Me. We'll be right back on the Will and Thunder Show.
Comes a time in everyone's life when you have to say, am I in love or just fooling myself? when you see me? Do you see things differently? Don't you shake inside? Aren't you glad to be alive? When I see you, I can feel an ocean wave. I feel young inside, and the world's a better place. Everybody seems to tell me keep my feelings inside. They say you can live without your innocence, but never lose your pride. You think that you can win, but you're only gonna cry. Well, I could never be satisfied if I knew that I didn't try. When you see me, when you see me, yeah. So keep your feelings inside. I love you, and I love you. The world's a better place 'cause of you. Comes a time in everyone's life when you have to say, am I in love or just fooling myself?
All right. Woo-hoo.
All right, welcome back to Thunder.
All right. Nice.
Yeah,
Old school
our
power ballad.
Yeah, our studio audience loves you guys, man.
Nice. Yeah.
Well, tell your studio audience I said thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're welcome.
I never heard a button talk before.
Yeah.
Yes. God, I love the sound effects. God, Lord have mercy.
So how long?
We've had a really good interview. So, Will, you have not had a chance to push any of those buttons tonight. Are you all right back there? You having withdrawals?
Yeah, that wasn't a button. That was just me saying you're welcome with a weird voice or something.
Well, thank you guys for giving a reason to push a button, because usually, he's pushing about 10 or 12 times to applause or a jackass or something. So, look.
Okay.
Hey, yeah, push away, man.
Yeah.
Well, nobody's been a jackass yet, except for Thunder, but he's talking so fast that by the time I was able to get to the button, he's already moved on to something else. And you guys are talking.
Now you've piqued my interest. Now I have to hear what it sounds like. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Let me hear it.
All right, here we go. The jackass. This is how Will laughs.
Well, why don't you? What was that, Thunder?
Oh, nothing. God,
I want to get that ringtone on my phone. That's awesome.
I know. Only thing better I've ever heard for a ringtone is my boss back in the day. Every time his wife called, it would go blah 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 blah. I'm like, it's so perfect, man.
Well, that's
only
funny.
thing better would have been.
Wait,
speaking of the wife thing and a cell phone, I heard the most original ringtone a couple days ago. This guy's I was at a music store, and this guy's cell phone rang, and all of a sudden it goes off, and it sounds like a freaking air raid siren. It's like, whoa, and then his voice is like, it's the wife.
Running.
It's the wife. It's so freaking funny. Oh, my God.
He's too much time in the bars. He spends way too much time in the bars right there. He's like, all right, let me get to the bed. Like, never mind, I gotta go.
I was like, does the phone get hot too when it goes when you call, or what?
He's playing hot potato out the door, like, oh shit, I gotta run. You got a GPS on my car or my ass or something.
Oh my
one that I've heard was this guy. And this is just, this isn't anything creative like that. It's just this guy with this really weird voice. He's going ring, 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 ring.
Oh, I've heard that one. It's really annoying.
But it's hilarious. Like,
it's funny as balls.
Yeah.
Now, I have a question here, guys. I have a question here. Have you ever, in the time you've been together, had an interview this crazy?
No, this is great. It's like,
you know what?
It feels like we're sitting at a bar talking. It really does.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
That's what we want to do right there. The Will and Thunder Show. And now we do a little segment here. Now, I don't know how old you guys are. You guys in your early 30s, mid 20s? Where are you guys at here?
I know the jackass one again.
Shut your mouth there, Cupcake. I got a point to make here, all right? I will drive down to where you are and I will choke you. I swear to you, I'll do it. That's what they'll play at your funeral, Cupcake, but anyway.
I like that.
That's classic. Oh, my word, that's classic. I love that one. Debbie Downer.
So, what age group are you guys?
Early 40s.
Yeah.
Basic idea. 30s, 20s, 40s. I mean, give me an idea here.
40,
early
44. This is Scotty.
Okay, all right, good. So you guys remember the great almighty movie Spinal Tap?
Oh, of course, man.
Okay, well, we do a little segment here. We like to talk to bands. Sometimes the bands are too young to understand what we're talking about here. So we talk about spinal moments.
Nice.
Yeah. Spinal Tap moments where things go bad on the stage and everything.
These go to 11. You can't press that. Spinal Tap, a second. What's wrong with being sexy? He died. He died in a bizarre gardening accident. Thousands of people spontaneously combust each year.
Hello, Cleveland! Hello, Cleveland!
So anyway.
Well, thanks for coming that movie, dude. Anyway, I was trying to transition there to a little Spinal Tap. I was there. I mean, you guys been together. You guys been playing music now with each other the whole time, but you've had your moments, and just throwing us out here, man. Give us some moments right there, some good ones right there where shit just don't go right, man.
Oh,
I have one. I can say one
Scotty.
that you can look at some of our video in some of our videos, and you'll remember this, Dave. We got into the first song when we were on stage, and all the lights went out, and all we had was really just overhead lights for the whole show, and all the speakers went out except the monitors, and it's like you can't stop the show and say, hey, let's get this right, so you try to do it what it is, and it really, from an audience standpoint, it wasn't probably fair to them, but certainly we went through and did
the
the
show must go on, so that's what we did.
The show must go on. That's right.
Yeah, it's
you turn it up to 11 and just keep going.
If we're on stage and something happens that's beyond our control, then we just keep doing, what is within our control. We just we do that, and the other stuff's out of our hands. We don't control the power, or the lights, or the sound, or anything. So other people are going to have to solve that anyway.
You guys weren't playing the halftime show at the Super Bowl between the Ravens and the 49ers, were you?
Oh.
Nah.
Well played,
but I'm sure that goes
played.
down in memory as one of those moments for those guys.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
When you brought that up, that kind of reminded me of one that we haven't talked about with anybody, because, we do throw some of ours around, too, during this. Well, when Thunder and I were like 17 years old, the band that we were in, we rented out a local playhouse, and with two other bands, and we sold it out, and that was really cool.
Oh, hey, can I interrupt just something really quick? Remind me to tell you the black diaper story.
The black stripe?
Okay, I'm going to write that down right now. Black diaper. That sounds so horrible right there. Look,
that's good.
Look, I know hold on. And I've been saying the F word, and I've been saying I don't know if we're even going to be allowed to talk about a black diaper on the radio here. We'll give it a shot here.
We'll get there.
Right now, that intrigues me more than anything on TV right now.
Wow, that's not saying much.
Let him get back to his story. I just wanted to throw that out there so we didn't forget.
No. That'll never be forgotten for the rest of my life right there. Those two words together don't go together. That's like,
Well, there was this. anyway, we had this show, and our and the way that we would open the show would be, I would hit an open E chord, and then I was just a guitar player. We had a singer. I wasn't the singer of that band, but then I would run out with the guitar running. Thunder would run out from the other side of the stage, and then our drummer would start and everything, and then our singer would follow me out. Well, he played guitar too, so I do my thing. Thunder and I run out to the stage. He comes out behind us. We start playing. Little did we know that when the singer came out, he tripped. His foot hit the power strip that my wireless was plugged into. Knocked it out of the power strip. But we had been practicing for this show like religiously for probably a good 21 days straight, because it was, at the time it was the biggest show that we had ever done, and we wanted to be good. So we heard my guitar part. All four of us heard my guitar part, and then about maybe 45 seconds into the song, there was a break where it was just me playing,
and there was nothing.
There was nothing, and I was just standing there like
that so sucks. Oh my god.
But our singer,
of course, the next thing is to try and figure out what the hell went on.
Well, I pulled off my guitar and held it up, and I remember this because there was a picture of it. I held it up, and I grabbed my microphone, and I was like, yeah, my wireless, love it, or something like that. But the singer realized what happened, went back, plugged it in, and we just started the song over.
Oh, there you go.
Nice.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
You remember that, Thunder?
I do remember the Kokomo's Playhouse quite fondly, man. I was a pimp back in those days, and I just remember all the girls on the front of the stage right there when we were about 14, 15, 16 years old or whatever it was. That's how old they were, and it was quite an exciting day, I'll tell you that much. But anyway, I'll leave the rest of the stories alone. But
now
anyway,
you want black diaper story.
You want to talk about, we get the black diaper story, and he mentioned the word pimp, so I'm going to tie two of these together in one fell swoop here. When Scotty and I met, I was in a cover band. Well, we did some of our own stuff, too, but it was called Hide Your Daughters.
Nice. That's the best. Look, besides free beer, that's the best rock band ever.
Dude, and I got to tell you, when the bass player Pete said, hey, I got the perfect name, I was like, you're out of your freaking mind, dude. Nobody's going to hire us. It took off like gangbusters. It was insane. We had a Daughter of the Month contest every month and let the audience pick the winner, the whole 9 yards. Really played it up. But
fucking bass players rock, dude. Bass players rock.
I'm telling you, the guy was a genius. But I could go off on story after story about that particular situation. But the black diaper story, we were playing at a club up north, kind of like. Trying to think of the name of the town, up in the Tower City, like the coal region area. And I had this pair of pants that were like laced up the sides, like stupid tight, looked like they were painted on.
Right.
And we're playing there, and every time we played there was always the same group of chicks that were there. And little did I know that one of the guys in the band was like, well, he had a regular chick there.
That was his
at
regular
that particular place. Whenever we were there, she was there. So that, I guess, he was squared away. But so we're playing, and during the song, I did a freaking split, right, and jump back up, and I'm and we're in the middle of the song, and I go and put my foot up on the monitor, and I'm standing there singing, and I'm looking at these girls' faces while I'm singing, and they're all like smiling, but none of them is looking me in the eye, and I'm thinking, what? Trying to look and figure out where they're looking, and I look down, and I see the crotch of my pants is completely ripped out from like the bottom of the zipper the whole way up to the belt loops on the back. I was like, oh, my God.
Nice.
Will had the same situation happen.
Yeah,
I've had that happen. He went down to do a solo.
I grabbed a black towel that I had laying there on the drum riser and stuffed it in the back of my pants and put it underneath between my legs and stuffed it in the front of my pants like a big stupid black diaper. And we finished the set.
I love that, Davey. I never heard that one. I love that.
After Will and I were at a band, he told me the story a couple of weeks ago. We were talking about a band, and we were talking about these moments, and he did the same thing. He was wearing a pair of those pleather pants,
Yeah.
And he went down on his knees to do a guitar solo, and it fucking split. So when he stood up, he's playing a solo, and he looks down. I look at his fucking chunk's just swinging. So he just lowered the guitar strap and played the song out.
I just lowered the guitar strap and followed the finished the set.
That could be a next song for us here, the Black Diaper. You can write a song
Black
for that.
Diaper.
And you know what? You had to do the same guitar riff. Yeah, but you had to do the same guitar riff as Just a Swing, man.
Or how about Big Bottoms?
Big Bottoms.
Talk about a YouTube parody there.
How about Lick My Love
I got big balls. You got big balls. I've got the biggest balls of them all.
Yeah, that was like one of my favorite parts of Spinal Tap is when that guy's sitting down there interviewing Nigel, and he's playing. Sits down at the piano, and he plays this beautiful song, and he's like, "Oh yeah, it's a new song I've been working on." And he's playing, and the guy's like, "Oh, it's beautiful. What's it called?" And he's like, "Oh, it's called Lick My Love Pump."
I love you guys, man.
But you know what? You know what my favorite Spinal Tap moment is, and y'all are gonna be Thunder knows what I'm talking about, but y'all are gonna be jealous of me. I saw them in concert.
What?
Wow.
Yeah.
No way.
Back in '92, I think it was. They put out that album "Break Like the Wind," and and they actually toured for it. They did a small tour. I think it was only like 20 cities, and Orlando was one of them. And I went. And one of our guests that we had on a while back, his band. Well, we had him on a couple weeks ago, but his band is going to be on next week. They're called Dead Serious. But the singer of that band was, he was there just a couple seats away from me. And
wow,
and
that's one of the rarest tickets ever.
Yeah, and we were talking about that the first time that he was on, and I'm amazed at this guy's memory because we weren't like hang out all the time, buddies and everything, but we were still pretty good friends. But this was years ago. So I asked him, I asked him if he saw that concert back then. If I wanted to see if he remembered it. And he's like, yeah, I was just a couple rows away from you. I was like, holy crap! And then he made the point. He's like, I think of that, seeing that concert, I liken that to of being able to say that you saw the original members of Led Zeppelin in concert.
Yeah, it's got the same mystique surrounding it, dude. That's insane.
Yeah, and
Spinal Tap. I mean, how many people can really say that they've gone to seen Spinal Tap live?
Oh, exactly.
As compared to how many people have seen Led Zeppelin live.
Right.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Led Zeppelin.
Do me a favor right here, seriously. This band that we're having on next week, these are buddies of ours. We've known them for years. If you like 80s music and you like that kind of this is a unique band, right? Do you remember Green Jello?
No, I don't.
You don't remember the song Three Little Pigs?
No.
Okay.
Let's not give them any notoriety, anyway.
No, I mean, because, they don't deserve it. Actually, they kind of stole the idea from this band out in L.A. and tried to put a band together, and our boys lost their shot. But this is one of the coolest bands you'll ever meet. Great guitar playing, great bass playing, drumming. Their singer's awesome. Check out a band called Dead Serious on YouTube.
Dead Serious.
Dead Serious.
SERIOS.
Yeah.
You did.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll check it out.
It is cool as shit, but and not to take away from Scarlett Gypsy. Everybody's listening, Scarlett Gypsy tonight. But no, seriously, Scarlett Gypsy. These are really cool guys, man, and they're totally 80s, 90s cool rock, man.
Nice.
Excellent.
Yeah, we'll check that out.
How long has Scarlett Gypsy been around?
Since 1991.
Oh wow.
You see, what? I was checking you guys out on the web today, and I could not find a date where you guys have been together, but I looked at some of your videos right there, and I'm telling you one thing, the videos that I saw are 1980s, 90s quality, straight up rock and roll videos. I mean, I'm seeing you guys playing in theaters. I mean, huge venues right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that you guys were that big. I mean, I was like, when he told me that we were going to have you guys on, he was like, yeah, there's a, band that plays hair metal, and everything, which I always want to hear, but I was like, damn it, man.
Yeah, that makes me, when I sit and look at the Scarlett Gypsy page when I have time, one of the one of the comments I remember reading was from somebody, and I forget what language it was in, because there's so many, and I got to tell you, that's kind of freaking blowing me away, too. There's, like, people from everywhere commenting, you know. It's, like, hugely flattering. But the one comment was, how come I've never heard of you guys before? And it's like, you know what? I don't know.
See, that's what I'm saying here. I look at these videos, and you guys are playing huge arenas. Is that stock footage, or is that you guys playing these huge arenas?
Well, I think a lot of what happened was when grunge came in, it took a lot of things away from us, and we were just another band. So a lot of what a lot of stuff that is going out on this new album is stuff that was recorded. And it's kind of like the Van Halens that do some demos and they let them out there.
Right.
I think that's what's unique about the sound is that it's actually like what the Foo Fighters just did. They recorded from an analog standpoint back on the reel-to-reel instead of doing all the digital processing, this and that. So it sounds authentic, but it really is authentic. It's music
we kind of like we came along late in the time, and like I said earlier. You know, I firmly believe that grunge just murdered freaking rock and roll. And when we came around, it was a little late in the game. We were kind of like the tail end of it, and it was unfortunate timing. But now it's like the stuff that we loved then and the stuff we still love now. People seem to be like latching onto it because it's real music. You know what I mean? There are guitar solos, there is musicianship, and it's the kind of stuff that's been missing.
There's vocals, there's harmonies, there's real music kicking there. And you know, when I saw these videos of you and you guys sit there and with the big light carriages behind you and all this and the laser lights and everything, I'm like, man, that's what I'm talking about right there. And I was like, man. And I actually
I only want to see more of it. You know what I mean?
When I looked you guys up on Google, there is not a search engine through Crybaby or YouTube or Reverb Nation that you're not on. There's like 17 different things that you can look yourself up, which is awesome.
Yeah.
But one question real quick.
Go ahead.
Or do you guys, I'm not going to do you a favor. I'm just going to do it right here. You can probably get your album from Amazon or whoever when this album comes out. But what's the best way that you guys make your money? Through your website?
It's going to be on Bandcamp.
Bandcamp?
Yep.
Is there a flute there?
I like it. That's a little American Pie, right?
No, absolutely. But anyway, Bandcamp.
It's bandcamp.com. It'll be Scarlett Gypsy. You can search it. It's an independent artist webpage, and people can buy the album for $7 for the digital download. The physical album, or they can individually buy each song. There'll be 8 songs on there, and they're 99 cents each, or $1 each, I should say. They didn't want us to do 99 cents, so it's $1 each. But what's nice about Bandcamp is people can pay what they want to pay above that if they want. Not that we would ever make anybody do that, but a lot of people donate because they feel for the band, and that certainly goes into
awesome because,
production.
As I said, with that story I told you earlier about Gene Simmons and the bullshit, there's too many people on YouTube right now that learned how to play guitar last year.
Right. Or still haven't learned.
It's nice to have you. Yeah. It's nice to have you two as musicians like you and I right here who actually have a talent that are really trying to do something with it.
Hey, you know what? On the subject of playing guitar, I got to throw this in there. I got to give myself a little plug. I actually make custom guitars as well.
Yes, cool. Does.
And I have a Facebook page, but I'm working on putting a Google Plus page together. And pretty much everything I've made to this point has been a one-off, a one-of-a-kind for each individual customer. And one of the ones I've made is actually like a leopard skin-looking Les Paul type guitar, and I actually get knobs for it that go up to 11. That's one move.
Sweet.
Old Marshall.
I love you. You really have one that goes to 11.
Yeah,
but you will now. You will now. You will now, no matter your way. Now, listen.
I got one sitting on the floor, sitting on a stand here about 20 feet away from me that goes up to 11.
Now, I have a question. Are you ever going to make any bass guitars?
Yeah, I have.
Well, absolutely. You know what? This is Steve, right?
No, this is Dave.
That's Dave.
All right, David. Oh, you're a vocalist. I know you're making guitars, but anyway, well, thank you anyway.
Yeah, I know it's weird, but yeah.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Now, is it going to have what are the effects going to be on there?
I'm sorry. What was that?
I'm joking. Anyway, But yeah, no, seriously, I will buy one of your streamlined Dave Matthews cheetah print bass guitars if you make one.
Okay. What kind of style you're looking for? You like something streamlined, like a Spectre looking thing, or you want a P?
No, more like a PV Foundation, old school PV Foundation with a rounded body and a thin neck.
Okay, I'll
Ibanez style.
Like an SR or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. When we're done here, I'll get some contact info from you, and I'll put something together, and we'll go from there, man.
And we'll show it on the Will and Thunder page, right? We can show that.
No, we have a Will and Thunder page, yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, cool, man.
You can
I'll forward you some pics from some of the stuff I've done, and you can throw them up if you want to.
Okay, so I don't have to go with the cheetah print, though, do I really?
No. We can do anything you want. I do sunburst, metallics, sparkle tops, whatever.
Because I think Thunder there is particularly interested in the rainbow design.
Nice.
Hey, you know what? I can get you a set of rainbow strings.
Look, you really, that's why you're going to go right there, Cupcake? I mean, your name's Will on the radio show, but your nickname's Cupcake, and you're going to call me out with a rainbow thing? What the fuck's wrong with you? Quit sipping on your sangria so much, you some bitch.
I'm surprised I didn't hear the jackass on that one.
I don't have the fucking button here. That's why.
There it is.
I'm sure I got an iPhone right here. I'm talking on. I'm sure there's an app for that. You motherfucker, you.
Jackass app.
All right.
There's an app.
Will, thank you. I promise you. We'll get this paid back anyway. We're trying to do an interview here, and you fucking call me out. You son of a bitch, you.
Well, you're the one whining like a little bitch.
Oh, really? All right. You pay my fucking therapist bill next week, all right?
All right. Damn, they're at each other's throats.
Anyway.
That's right.
Hey, Scotty, just remember this rainbow thing is like a really sore subject.
Nice.
With a voice like this, you think I have a rainbow issue? Really?
Yeah, no, not at all. No.
I sound like a fucking 70-year-old grandmother.
Although that one cat that was in the bird cage with Robin Williams and what's his face?
I remember that movie. All right, shut up. Don't even bring that up, all right?
The guy that did the makeup and the
I
body.
know. That's awesome. You don't even go there. Okay, well, here we go. I'm going to tell my wife later when I go in there, look, man, my boyfriend's coming home.
There's his own. That's all right.
That's a drop.
Oh, I know. God bless America. I said that out loud. Fuck. Never once have you guys been like, oh, yeah, look, we're doing an interview tonight, and never thought this was going to happen.
How do you plan for something like that?
It's good radio.
This would never happen on MTV.
You mean non-music television? Don't get me started on that.
The two songs that we've played tonight.
As a matter of fact, I've got a pregnant 16-year-old that wants to talk to you right now.
Well, I have to say, we have an MTV webpage, so I got to put that out there for all access.
I know, and I saw that already, so I shouldn't say anything. Damn it!
Yeah. They had reached out.
Let me say it this way.
I apologize.
I miss music on music television.
There you go.
Yes.
There you go.
So tell me about that MTV page.
It's through All Access, so it was a collaboration. So it goes to Spotify, which we'll be streaming on. Our new album will stream on Spotify. And with that, it included, they wanted an artist page to go up on the MTV page. So they accepted that when we submitted to Spotify. So we're on there. And it's at mtv.com artists, and it's Scarlett-Gypsy.
Cool.
And you can post all of that on that Facebook link. You know, the guitars, the MTV page, whatever you want. Even the Rainbow Coalition for Thunder there.
There you go.
You gotta do that one more time. I swear to you.
We support it all.
I mean,
we support all lifestyles.
If you get like an envelope in the mail and it has like white powder around the edge, don't open it, you know?
no idea where I live, man. I live in the middle of redneck nowhere. There were like rainbows. They'll be out here with fucking white hats and robes on. Kidding.
Personally, I like to comment about paying the therapist bill. I thought that was good.
Here's the one thing I love about this. Here's what I love about this right here, is you never expected any of this. So anybody who knows you guys, they're like, oh, we can do another interview right here. They're like, what the fuck is going on right now? This is what rock and roll is right here.
Believe me, people that know me would expect nothing less.
And you know what? We've done our job. We've done our job. I'm telling you right there, this is what they're like. When the guys are backstage, they're like, oh, I want to meet the band. What's going on back there? And they see the guys with little tags going there like, yeah, I'm fresh. They don't get this shit.
No, not at all. Yeah, this is the real deal.
The real deal.
Well, thank you for coming to our bar this evening.
Yeah, only the insiders know about that kind of stuff, you know?
That's right. Some good backstage stories.
That's what we do here on the Will and Thunder Show. It's and that's what we want to do. We want to be, you know, the guy sitting at the bar when you guys get off the stage. How the fuck are you doing, man? That's a good show.
Yeah, here's another quick story for you. I tested the durability of a Shure SM58 one night by dropping the microphone in a pitcher of beer mid-song. And I was, like, panicking, so I grabbed the cord and pulled it out, unscrewed the windscreen, shook it out, blew out the windscreen, screwed it back together, and was back in before the guitar solo was over.
Can you believe that? It's amazing.
It's the greatest microphone of all time.
The durability is amazing.
It's like a Timex. Watch. Takes a licking, keeps on ticking.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, you could bury it in the dirt like you did the dog with the watch, and it would still work.
Yeah, you could use it as a weapon if people are trying to get up on stage and swing it around like a morning star and knocking people out, bring it back to you. It still works.
I've made the threat. I've never actually carried it out, but.
Yeah, speaking of not carrying out the threat, Will and I were at the same bar in Florida, and we watched Guar play.
Oh, wow.
One of the greatest shows, and God rest Dave right there, but they actually came out with he died of a heroin overdose, and God rest him.
I had heard he had gone, but I didn't know exactly sure why. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, they came out yesterday with the report that it was a heroin overdose, but Dave was the baddest man I've ever seen in my life, because watching the show, Dave singing, there was a fight in the mosh pit. Two guys started throwing punches, man. He stopped the show straight up and said, listen, guys, we're here to have a good time, and you guys want to mosh, have a good time. You guys want to throw fists, go outside and be an asshole. If you guys do it again, I'm going to whoop your ass. Well, he started playing again, and the pit started going again. These two guys got into a fight again. Well, one guy initiated it. The security grabbed this one guy, brought him up on stage, and Dave took him and threw him across his leg, slapped him on the ground, and punched him in the face. And they dragged him off the stage.
He made good on his word then, didn't he?
Oh, he did. Yeah. He made good on his word and whooped this guy's ass right there on the stage. Will was right there with me.
I'm surprised he didn't get sued for that, but still, he was warned.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you can sue somebody if you were warned. I don't know. I'm not that much of a lawyer.
I don't know what it was, but I don't think he cared.
We could talk.
Obviously.
We could talk to that judge in Brevard County.
Yeah, I heard that earlier.
Here's one thing I'm pretty sure I'm never gonna have a security guy drag somebody's ass out of the audience so I can whoop it for him.
Unless it's part of the show,
sure of that,
right?
Yeah, unless it's a setup.
And it might have been a setup. Well, you know what? I'm still living with that right now. Like, oh, that might have been set up, but I like living the dream that it wasn't.
Yeah.
That was really cool. So
nice.
Just let me live that dream, please.
Well, you know, it starts with the whole mosh pit thing. Right. I don't recall ever seeing a mosh pit at a Scarlett Gypsy show.
No. Just a lot of ladies up front trying to get in.
Yeah, that's it.
Trying to
10 to 1 usually.
Diaper.
Yeah.
So waiting for the black diaper look again.
Nice.
Yeah, I had a worse issue with my pants at one time. I had my favorite pants. You know, where you used to take razor blades, cut your jeans up, and wear some spandex underneath. And during that show that Will was talking about, where the issue was, I had a girl jump up, and grab my jeans and rip every one of the cuts out of my jeans.
Wow.
Hey, I just thought of one. I just thought of one I got to share with you.
Go ahead.
What's the most unusual spot you've ever signed an autograph?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I have a question. Signed with what?
Sharpie?
Ooh, he one-ups me.
Did I now?
Okay, well, here's mine. It wasn't necessary. When I say place, I'm not necessarily talking about physical anatomy.
I understand that.
But this is like kind of two birds with one stone.
Go ahead.
Again, this is an old. This was we played in front of this one show. It was about 10,000 strong, and I came out in the audience when we were done, and I was walking around talking to people, like in the seats up front, where like my mom was there and my aunt and a couple of relatives. And I walk up, and I'm sitting beside my mom, and I'm talking to people, and all of a sudden, people start walking up and asking me for my autograph, right? And I'm like, okay, well, you got a pen. Well, before long, I got a Sharpie in my hand, and I'm just signing everything that's coming at me. And this girl walks up, and she's in like this incredible freaking 80s outfit, white leather skirt, white bow ties, the lace stockings, the whole nine. Really pretty brunette girl, and she walks up and she's like, hey, I need to ask you an unusual favor. And I'm like, okay. She said, will you give me your autograph? And I'm like, yeah, what's so unusual about that? She said, well, I want you to sign me. I'm like, okay, what's so unusual about that? Well, then she puts her foot up on the armrest of the chair. Now, keep in mind, I'm sitting beside my mother. Puts her foot up on the armrest of her chair and pulls up her skirt and says, I want you to sign me right here. Well, guess where?
Yeah.
Right there, my mom.
Leg or
and I was
vagina?
just like, oh, my Lord, I can't believe this is happening. My mom just turned her head and giggled.
That's a great mom. That's like a mom I had right there. I love that.
Oh, man.
The band that I was
think she almost took it as like a compliment, like, hey, you must really be something if this is happening.
The worst part of that whole thing is that she had a place that you can sign it up there.
Yeah, that's right.
She had curtains or something.
It was impressive, I got to tell you.
I'm like, really? Can you peel those bags so I can see where I'm going? Get the hell out of here.
But one time, the same band that I was talking about, where I had my wardrobe malfunction. We were playing the show at this club, and this girl, she wasn't like drunk, but she was getting there. Well, she decides that she wants to hook up with me, but doesn't want to wait until after we leave. So we wind up going into the men's restroom, and we locked the door, and up against the door the whole time. Security's beating on the door because they saw us go in, and they're beating on the door, and I'm doing my thing, and then all of us, finally we got done. We made it a quickie, kind of had to, because these guys were going to break the door down.
That's your thing anyway. So anyway, go ahead.
But I pulled a Sharpie out of my pocket and lifted up her shirt and signed her stomach, and then opened the door, and I said, look, I was just giving her an autograph.
Nice.
Yeah, good
I
cover.
use their autographs in the back many a times. Swallow a bag autograph.
And we got barred from playing at that particular club because of that.
I got another quick one for you. We played at this club this one time, and we had been there before. And this girl, we had hooked up, if you will. And this particular evening, I was sitting there at the table, and I was sitting beside her, and her mom was sitting across the other side of the table. And her mom looks me square in the eye. Yeah, it's always a weird, awkward situation. And her mom looks me square in the eye. She says, let me ask you a question. I was like, okay, what's that? She said, are you as good in bed as you are up there on that stage? And I'm like, And I turned to look at her daughter and said, I don't know, ask her.
Absolutely. It's not just good, but fucking good for you. Hey, that's a fucking infomercial right there.
So she looks at her, she says, well. And she's like, oh, yeah.
Listen, All right, look, guys, man, look, this is coming to the end of the show, and wish we had another hour left, man. Scarlett Gypsy, you guys are fucking fun, dude. And this is one of the fun interviews I've ever done right here. And I love you guys, man.
So I appreciate it.
Leave some information. We will right here so I can get in touch with you guys, and I want to just bullshit with you guys. But anyway, you guys from New York, Pennsylvania, love you guys, man. Can't wait for the album to come out.
I don't mean to interrupt. Which one of y'all's phone number starts with 881?
That's Scotty.
Okay, I'll call you after we're done. A few minutes after we're done.
Yep.
Okay.
Listen, man, I want to get in touch with you guys. I'm just bullshit with you guys. Are fun as shit, man. Just a great radio fucking interview right here, man. You're not going to catch this shit on MTV or any kind of radio you can get out there unless you're on this kind of radio we got kicking right here. But thanks for being on the Will and Thunder Show, guys. Man, you guys have been fun, man. You guys have been real, man.
Got it. Thank you, Thunder. Thank you, Will.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
I hope you guys had a good time, man.
Yep. Super. Thank you very much, guys.
See you. Thanks again, guys.
And we're gonna send it out with the song "Don't Play Games" by Scarlett Gypsy, and we'll see y'all next week on the Will and Thunder Show with Dead Serious. Y'all have a good one, and thanks, and good night.
Good night.
Thank you for listening to the Will and Thunder Show. The band that's going to take us out is Beyond the Fade from Charlotte, North Carolina. You can find them at Beyond the Fade at Twitter and also at Facebook, Beyond the Fade. The song's called Lights Out, and they're going to take us out.
Never gonna
Thank you for listening to the Will and Thunder Show. We'll be back next week, same time, 10 p.m. Eastern till midnight, with another awesome guest for you. Later.
Blog Talk Radio.
Basically.
What the hell is that?
I'm sorry.
Well.
Welcome to the Will and Thunder Show. Will and Thunder Show.
Ridiculous, 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 ridiculous. Welcome to the Will and Thunder Show.
Well, hello there. All I got to say right now is that intro is awesome and ridiculous. Welcome into the Will and Thunder Show. I am Kevin Thunder, and alongside me here somewhere is William Telltale. How the hell are you doing there, buddy?
I'm great. What's up? What's up? What's going on?
Man, just another day in paradise, man. Woke up on the right side of the grass, ready to go, ready to roll, man. Another day for a great show here. And, man, look, couldn't be better, man. Just living the dream, man. Living the dream.
Well, tonight we've got the glam band from Pennsylvania, Scarlett Gypsy, and they'll be on around 10:30 with us. And I just want to say right off the bat that my blog, williamtelltale.blogspot.com, I've put up a calendar for the schedule of the Will and Thunder Show. It's small, but we're on Tuesdays, so you click on each Tuesday and you'll be able to see which guests that we have coming up. So.
That's right. Hailing out of York, Pennsylvania, Scarlett Gypsy. On lead vocals, a gentleman named David Mathew. My mouse stopped working there for a second. I must have went on strike. But anyway, guitar and vocals, Steve Plonk. On bass, Robert Douglas, and drums and vocals, Scotty, Scarlett himself. But anyway, yeah, these guys are, the epitome of glam rock and roll. I mean, you go back a little old school, you got some great guitar riffs, little glam riffs in there back and forth, and some good vocals. I mean, really, really great band. Can't wait to get to talking with them. But we got a little segment before we start talking to bands here on the Will and Thunder Show. It's kind of about a little bit of nothing, a little bit of everything. So it's called the Shenanigans.
Our shenanigans are cheeky and fun. Yeah, I mean, his shenanigans are cruel and tragic, which makes them not shenanigans at all, really.
I swear to God, I'll pistol whip the next guy that says shenanigans.
Shenanigans! Shenanigans!
Are you little?
You got another quarter? You got another quarter? Every time we play that, I hear that little head piece. It reminds me of, like, Pac-Man back in the day. That's the last, like, whoop, 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 whoop. But anyway, man, what you got on Shenanigans today, man? What do you got to talk about that's going around this big ball of mud we call Earth?
Well, we got some. It's not necessarily mud, but it is dirt. It could definitely be considered shenanigans from our hometown, Brevard County, Florida.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It would seem that there was a judge who was hearing cases and down at the courthouse complex, and he and the public defender got into it, and the judge basically hauled him out of the courtroom, whipped his ass.
Well, from what I understand, he didn't haul him out of the courtroom right then. What happened was, the judge and the public defender got into a heated argument back and forth, and I don't even know what the subject was about. But anyway, after court session was over, they kind of ran each other in the hallway and started having words right there. And the judge straight up told him, said, listen here, buddy, you want to take this outside, I'm going to whoop your ass. Well, they went outside, got the fisticuffs right there. The judge put a couple whoopings on them right there, and the bailiff had to break them up right there. So this right here, only in the state of Florida, and I love the state of Florida. It's where, we hail from. I wasn't born there, but raised there from the time I was 4 years old till I was 34 years old. 30 years in that great state and in Brevard County. I remember when they built the Justice Complex out there in Vieira, and I didn't see a boxing ring out there anytime I've ever been out there for a traffic ticket.
Well, I tell you,
if I knew that I could box, if I knew that I could box instead of paying a fine, I might have taken it a couple times.
What, the strongman competition? 2 men, one man has to pay the fine, the other man doesn't.
That's right. Look, can you imagine? Like, look, dude, take off your badge. Me and you going in the ring right now. I wasn't speeding. And look, you were hiding behind a push. We're going to take care of this right now. Fano. That's awesome, man. I mean, really?
Well, when you think of it, there's probably a lot of people that would love to see an attorney get their ass whooped, but not by a judge.
I know, but can you imagine with the judge still wearing his robe? How awesome would that be? A man in a dress beating another man's ass? I mean, come on now. I'll tell you what, if any judge I would not want to fight, hold on, if there was any judge I would not want to fight, and it is none of the men, it's that bitch Judge Judy. That bitch would bring everything, a baseball bat, brass knuckles. She's just mean and evil.
And she could probably whip Judge Dredd's ass.
Oh, absolutely, man.
But the thing that as high tech and nice as that facility is, there's got to be cameras all over the damn place. So I'm thinking that somebody needs to leak that footage.
But they said they have no footage because it was outside around back. So this is in the employee access area right there. So there's no camera. They got cameras coming in the front, watching the quote bad people, the people who are in trouble, the perpetrators. But there's not one out back to film the judge whooping the public defender's ass. Okay, so mental note to any criminals out there in the Brevard County Correctional Facility: if you want to stage a prison break, head out through the employee lounge. Go out the back door. Door right there. I mean, you know what? Imagine me in court right there, and I wouldn't beat my public defender. I mean, I don't think, because he's trying to save my ass, but that depends on whether he was successful or not. Exactly. But, the prosecutor right there, I'd be like, listen, man, me and you had an argument in there. I don't agree with what you said. You got me thrown in jail. I get to punch you in the face as long as we're out back around away from the cameras. And no charges are being filed. So that public defender's not filing any charges against the judge. So I think that's back in the 1700s, they used to settle their issues by a duel. Hey, this is a hell of a lot safer than a duel. I mean, both people are going to survive. That's right. One might get a bloody nose, but I think it's it's one of those things where you know what? It's actual true justice. True justice. The judge laid it down. That's so awesome. It's so awesome. And also, you think, especially if he's one of these judges that tries these these cases for gangs and stuff like that. You get one of these little thugs up in front of him, and he's trying to be a little punk ass or whatever. You'd be like, look, man, did you watch the news last week? I'll take you out back, I promise you. I'll take you out back right now, you little son of a bitch. Pull your pants up. Pull your pants up. Don't make me. I swear to you, I'll do it. And then he will. He grab him by the back. Look. You know what we need to do right now? Huh. Okay, you brought up Judge Dredd, right? Well, he lives in Florida right now, and what we need to do is we need to take up a collection and buy him a helmet. And he needs to wear that helmet in that court of law, and he'll clean up crime all over Florida. Damn right. That'd be awesome. Dude, they're going to make a movie of him like the guy with the rock, with the big stick that went around, Buford T. Pusser from my area here in Tennessee. That'll be the next movie about this judge in Florida right there. He'll walk around with a 2x4 and just whoop people's ass with a Judge Dredd mask on. Wait a minute, the rundown, did that happen in that story happen in your close to you? No. You never heard the story of Buford T. Pusser? Or not the rundown, the other movie with Dwayne Johnson. With The Rock. Yeah. Yeah, the movie is based off a sheriff that was in this area here in Tennessee. His name was Buford T. Pusser. Okay? And he cleaned up crime. He went against the whole syndicate crime group, and he used to, at one point, went around with a 2x4 and was whooping people's asses because...
Yeah, I've seen the movie. I've seen the movie.
It's based on a true story.
I knew it was based on the true story, too. I just didn't know where. So that happened here where you're at.
It was right outside Jackson, Tennessee. I can't remember the exact town, but yeah.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. They have a museum around here and all that kind of stuff. And he ended up dying in, I think it was a car crash or something.
Walking Tall was the name of the movie.
Thank you very much. But yeah, he ended up dying in a car crash, and it was kind of a sketchy kind of thing. And the daughter's written a book about, what her ideas of the truth are, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, that whole idea of Walking Tall was based on this area of Tennessee.
Oh, that's cool. I did not know that.
Very cool. What else you got for some shenanigans? Since that was actually pretty good shenanigans right there. Because that's what I consider shenanigans right there. When a judge whoops your ass, that's shenanigans.
And if you're telling somebody about it and they don't believe you, that'd be a pretty easy story to call shenanigans on.
Exactly. But yeah, all right, I got a story for you. Is this real or is this shenanigans? A judge whoops a public defender's ass, and they're like, oh no, that'll never happen. Like, wrong answer.
Well, next I got, I saw a story. Basically, the Microsoft bought out Skype a while back, paid like $1 billion for it, and but now they've developed it. Now it's not out yet, but they're developing this technology that would work like the universal translator in Star Trek. So basically,
so in other words, when you're Skyping somebody in Israel.
If I'm talking to one of those Russian, like hot Russian models or whatever, I'd be able to understand what the hell they were saying.
Bill, you're already married. You can't get a mail order bride. Stop that shit. All right.
Damn it. Have you seen some of them?
You don't live in the Dakotas or in Utah or something. You can't have more than one. I don't know why you'd want more than one. I have one, and fuck, man, that's enough damage.
True.
I hope you didn't hear me. Fuck. Anyway, but yeah. So if you're talking to somebody in Greece, like we were talking to last week, not last week, the week before that. Excuse me, my timeline was off. Then you can Skype with someone who speaks in another language, and when you talk to them, it's going to translate you to their language. And when they talk back to you, it'll translate in your language.
Right. Now, what I want to know is how's it going to talk? Because right now, Microsoft Sam, the Microsoft default voice is, just sounding like this really